Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So I'm back with my 1-month follow-up review with the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5G, the flippiest phone of 2020. Now there's a lot of flipping options out on the market right now, including the Z Fold 2 that just came out. Now we've got the brand new Motorola Razr 5G, and you probably want to know, one, how this stacks up, and two, what's the experience like after a month? Is it worth the $1,449? And I'm here to talk about that in this video. But before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the Z Flip 5G. Alright, Z Flip 5G. How is it? Well, I'm happy to say that I like it a lot. I upgraded, if you consider it an upgrade. There wasn't really too much of an upgrade from the Z Flip to the Z Flip 5G. Changed out the processor, it's got 5G in it now, and it's also got this fancy matte finish on it. It comes in Mystic Gray and Mystic Bronze. I totally love the Mystic Gray. Snapdragon 865 Plus, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of internal storage. It's not expandable. That's what you're stuck with. Wireless charging, reverse power share, no IP dust and water resistance, but they can't do that because of all the folding and hinging mechanisms that go on in here. As far as using it from a day-to-day perspective, it's got a really nice looking 6.7-inch AMOLED display, fingerprint sensor on the side, which actually works out pretty darn well. And it's just a nice experience. You do get over the whole fragile aspect after you've been using it for a day or two. Whenever you first start using it, you feel like you might break it a little bit, but it feels hefty. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It feels very premium. It's got a nice kind of dense characteristic to it. The whole phone does feel really solid. And it's got the LCD readout on the backside, which is nice. You can dismiss your alarms, you can answer phone calls, you can use it as a little rangefinder. So you can actually see yourself in this little screen while you're using the camera. It's kind of neat. You can, anyway, you might be able to see in here, but you can use it as a rangefinder for taking selfie pictures. It's got dual 12 megapixel cameras on the outside, 10 megapixel on the inside. And it's just a nice experience. It's not, it doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that some of the newer phones have. Like, it doesn't have 120 hertz refresh rate, which, you're kind of sacrificing here. You get the folding screen instead of the 120 hertz refresh rate. 60 hertz is perfectly fine. You don't get a Quad HD Plus resolution, you get 1080p, but the 1080p still looks nice, and Samsung, in my opinion, basically makes the best AMOLEDs that are out on the market, especially in the Android world. As far as using it from a day-to-day perspective, call quality is good. You've got the 5G, so if you're really excited about the 5G, then you'll be happy with that. One thing I need to talk about with this guy is battery. 3300 milliamp battery. Battery life is about the same as the Z Flip. I thought that it was going to be a little bit worse because it has the 5G antenna. It also has the Snapdragon 865 Plus. It did seem to get about 30 to 45 minutes less battery life. I turned off 5G, so I'm not even using 5G with this. Honestly, my real impressions of this phone is if you can get a regular Z Flip, go ahead and get one of those because you can get them cheaper, you can get them refurbished, you can get them renewed, open box, resale. You can get them for like $700, $800 some places now, especially on the resale market. So I wouldn't necessarily say go out and buy this one. If you absolutely need 5G, then go for it. Of course, that's something you're going to get in this phone, but the Snapdragon 865 Plus really is the biggest performance upgrade because everything else is essentially the same. The battery is the same, the screen's the same, the cameras are the exact same. Not a whole lot of changes here. This is kind of just more of a tech refresh phone than it is a complete brand new phone. When we get the new Z Flip next year, that one's probably going to be a little bit more groundbreaking. You might have new cameras, we might have better battery life. I'm looking forward to next year. This year, the reason that I got this one is because I got mine secondhand from somebody else, and I was able to sell that to offset a lot of the cost of this one. So if you're just going in, paying money for it, you're not getting any good trade-in stuff, definitely just go with the Z Flip. But the Z Flip 5G is nice. Like I said, you get these nice, cool, frosted matte appearances with the Mystic Black and the Mystic Bronze, the only two colors that it comes in. 5G, like I said, I have mine turned off to try and save battery life. If you've got AT&T, though, you can't do that. You're stuck with using 5G. If you have T-Mobile, you can turn it off and just use LTE and the other networks, so that's fine. The 865 Plus is snappier. I do feel that there is a noticeable performance upgrade in the 5G version as opposed to the regular Z Flip. So, I mean, I think that's fine. The original one was $1380 and then this one's $1449. Essentially, they're charging you an extra $69 for 5G and a better processor. If you're paying full price for both, sure, go ahead and get the 5G model. But there are actually, I've seen some lower prices. Somebody brought it to my attention today, and today is the 9th of September. They have it on Amazon for $12.99 already, and it's only a month old. I don't expect the price to hold up super well on this. It'll probably drop pretty good, and even though the Z Flip just came out like 6 months ago, like I said, you can pick them up on Swappa. Amazon renewed for about $1,000. You can pick them up even less on Swappa. I saw some there for like $800, $750. So there are options out there if you just want to get into the whole folding technology. As far as performance, it runs just as well as effectively the Note 20 and the Note 20 Ultra. This right here is basically the Note 20. It just folds, and it doesn't have as nice a cameras or as big of a battery. The Note 20, $999, Snapdragon 865 Plus, but it's got a plastic back. It's got some other things. It doesn't have as good of a camera. It doesn't have 120 hertz. So if you're looking for something kind of on par, I mean, this even has the same size screen at 6.7 inches. So I do like it. I really like the whole flipping aspect. I like being able to open the phone up to answer phone calls. I like being able to close it just like that to hang up on them. It gives you a nice sense of closure and finality. And if you're somebody who has kind of like OCD like me, it's nice because it's just closed. It's done. It's over with. It's not like, here, let me set my phone down. Oh, the screen's still on. I'm burning up battery. This does help you save on battery a little bit just because when you close it, you're turning the screen off. So I do find it helpful that way. But 3,300 milliamps is not the greatest in the world. I'm getting about 4.5 hours of screen on time. You can barely stretch it out to about 5, but I'm not using adaptive brightness. I'm not using adaptive battery. I have 5G turned off, and that's kind of, about the little over 4 hour mark, I start worrying about my battery. And then if you use the camera, if you play games, watch a lot of videos, you might get a little less screen on time than that. But if you need about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time in a day, this should get you that, especially if you do things like turn battery optimization on, adaptive brightness. You don't have the brightness up super high. I like mine kind of bright. So I feel comfortable in saying you can get 5 hours with it. But is 5 hours enough for you? But then again, depending on the phone that you get, I'm not getting a whole much more battery life out of my Note 20 Ultra that has the 120 Hz screen. So I do like it. I think it's probably the best folding phone on the market right now whenever it comes to this clamshell design. The Fold, of course, is a completely different story, but this competes directly with the Razr. The first generation Razr, I think, don't spend money on that at all. But the new Razr 5G looks pretty interesting. They upped it to the Snapdragon 765. They did make some other performance improvements and some refinements to it, and that second screen on the outside looks really nice. This one, not really so much functional on the outside. You can just do the basic limited toggling with this secondary display. So the new Razr 5G looks pretty good if you're looking for something that's a little bit more robust and kind of like the flip version of Samsung's Fold, where you have that full access screen on the outside. I'm hoping when we get a new Z Flip next year that they'll incorporate some of those things, but this is what we have now. As far as accessories, the case I've been using lately is this Ring Key Fusion case. It works really well. All the cases come in these like 2-piece configurations. You pop one on the top, one on the bottom. They've got the little sticky strip on the inside that helps keep it on there. But lots of options there. I'll have some links in the drop down if you want to check those out. The Samsung Genuine Leather one is crazy nice. Totally love it. It is nice. If you like leather cases, you will really enjoy it. If you want something that's a little bit more protective, a little less expensive, this Ring Key Fusion one, or even I've also got the UAG Civilian case. A little bit more on the pricey side, but it's very, very protective. But the cameras, I forgot to talk about this. The cameras are good. They're the exact same as the Z Flip. I'm not really diving into that in this one because this is a follow-up review. If you want to know more about the cameras and the overall, like look at a lot of B-roll and footage and things like that, right here is the drop down for my Z Flip 5G review. You can check that out. But I think it's a solid phone. You're definitely paying for the technology. I mean, really, this is only like an $800, $900 phone as far as hardware and performance, but where you're paying and getting the extra dollar and the extra cost associated with this phone is with that foldable display. The foldable display holds up well. It has that built-in screen protector. I haven't had any issues with mine. It hasn't peeled. It's not starting to come off. And it works great. And I'm glad it has one built in because the original Z Flip didn't have one built in. You also get the one-time screen replacement within the first year. You've got that warranty going for you. And of course, you've got the Samsung concierge service. So you can call them if you need help with things 24 hours a day, I believe. But overall, I think that Samsung did a good job with it. This one really kind of is what the first Z Flip should have been, and that's kind of how we talk about a lot of these foldables. It's more of a prototype thing right now where we're paying to get this technology out into the consumer market because it costs a lot of money. As time goes by, it will get better, it will get less expensive, ideally. So I'm really hoping that the next version next year will be really good. If you're looking for one right now, if you're just looking at buying one brand new, get the 5G over the regular LTE model. But if you're not opposed to going and buying Amazon Renewed, picking one up on Swappa, or looking around for deals, you can certainly get the regular Z Flip cheaper. And I think that might be a better option for a lot of people, especially if you're on the fence and don't want to spend a ton of money and you don't want to trade something in. Samsung has decent trade-in deals on stuff, but if you can get one for $800 instead of like a regular Z Flip, instead of paying all this extra money, you would probably be happier. There's not a whole lot of noticeable difference. The phone connection doesn't really matter. The LTE versus 5G, not that big of a deal. The only real significant change is the Snapdragon 865 Plus, which is more powerful than the 855 Plus it was in the last one. So you've got some options there. Check those out. I'll even have some links in the drop down if you want to check out the Amazon Renewed one. But overall, I think it's worth the full price. It's just that it's expensive. I don't necessarily think it's for everyone. I had the regular Z Flip for a few months. It seems durable. This one seems just as durable. The hinge is solid, and overall, I really enjoy it. It's just a nice, enjoyable form factor. It's something different. It's a nice change of pace, and like I use the Note 20 Ultra. I was using the S20 Ultra before this. I've used a lot of phones that are a lot nicer when it comes to like the refresh rates, when it comes to battery life, when it comes to cameras. But there's just something special about this flip style phone that I really enjoy, and what keeps me, really interested in this Z Flip lineup. So that's all I've got for my 1 month review with the phone. If you're interested in it, you can check out the links down below. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those in the comment section. I'll get back with you. I've got a lot of experience with this one and using the other Z Flip. Totally like them a lot, and I think it's a solid phone. So that's all I've got. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.